On Tuesday, June 8th, the Red Brennan Group took steps to subpoena Assemblymember Chad Mays. This action was in concert with an earlier discovery notice sent to the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors concerning their lawsuit against Measure J. The Red Brennan Group supports big-hearted communities and small government. The attorneys supporting the Red Brennan Group want to understand the nature of conversation between Mr. Mays and the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors. The nonprofit is pressing lawsuits against the Board of Supervisors concerning Measures J and K. Both measures were approved by voters in the November 2020 election. Measure K, approved by a supermajority of voters, is a grassroots effort designed to rethink the politics of local government. Measure J is an effort by the county supervisors to torpedo Measure K. The Red Brennan Group attorneys are particularly interested in Mays' motivation for submitting Assembly Bill 428. Measure K stipulated two things. Number one, the Board of Supervisors were limited to a single 4-year term. And number two, the compensation of the Board of Supervisors was reduced from $240,000 per year to $60,000 per year. This is equal to the median household income of the county. Mays' legislation, currently working its way through the California Senate, stipulates that voters may not approve any less than 2 4-year terms for county supervisors. The proposed law also stipulates, in effect, that the Board of Supervisors of the Charter County would set their own compensation. When voters approved Measure K in November 2020, San Bernardino County's political machine immediately acted to squelch the measure via a threefold plan. First, the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors sued the clerk of the board to halt implementation of Measure K. County Council, which had a duty to defend Measure K on behalf of the voters, refused to do so. At the same time, the county bureaucracy moved to aggressively implement Measure J. This was a measure placed on the ballot by the supervisors and designed to conflict with Measure K. Finally, AB 428 was submitted by Mr. Mays on February 4, 2021. Mays' claim that AB 428 would have no direct effect on Measure K is an example of using language to obscure the legislative intent of a bill. In committee, Mays argued the legislation was a good governance policy issue and was not an attack on Measure K. On the floor of the Assembly, Mays stated that Measure J did not directly affect Measure K. Tom Murphy, who is a representative of the Red Brennan Group, stated, "Anyone that can read is able to peruse AB 428 and verify it does not directly affect Measure K. However, Mr. Mays conveniently neglected to explain the indirect effect of the bill, which is undoubtedly the intent of the legislation. Should AB 428 pass, then Measure K, approved by a supermajority of the county's voters, will have zero effect on any county supervisor, ever." The county's lawsuit against Measure K contends that sitting supervisors, which includes all current supervisors, are exempt from the voter-imposed restrictions of the measure. If the courts uphold that position and AB 428 is signed into law, not a single supervisor will ever be affected by the voter-approved limits of Measure K. Current supervisors will have been declared exempt by the courts, and the California legislature will have changed the law to exclude future supervisors. Thus, the county's political elite will have overturned an initiative approved by more than 500,000 voters, and the California political system will have directly negated the will of San Bernardino County's voters. The Red Brennan Group thinks this is wrong. We believe county residents should understand this issue, and we believe this subpoena and discovery process will have direct bearing on our lawsuit against the county board over Measure J.